Good evening, guys. I'm here today. I want to talk about cryptocurrencies and exactly what they are. If you have just joined me and you can see or you can hear me, just put a comment there, just so I know you're there. I'm using a software today called let me just check again, Ecamm Live. So I'm using this Ecamm Live software on my computer, and it allows me to at least be able to show you some of the things that I always talk about. So I'm just going to start by describing straight away what a cryptocurrency is. So a cryptocurrency is like digital cash, or is actually digital cash, like Bitcoin. The Bitcoin cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin is actually digital cash, in the sense that in the physical world where we have actual real money, we are able, if you have say £10 in your pocket, you're able to use that £10 to pay for goods and services. And if you have £10 and you pay for something that costs you £6, you're left with £4 in your pocket. And then you're able to use that £4 for something else. Now, the problem with the digital form of money, as we've known it so far, is that there's a problem called the double spending problem. And this problem comes about because if you spend, say, £6 from your bank card, you pay for something, maybe at a fuel station or in a shop, depending on how quickly the bank can process that payment, you could still be left with £10 in your account, and you could then buy something else, or you could do so many transactions that at the end of the day, you cannot remember how much. You can't keep track of how much you have in your account, in which case you end up spending the same money twice, because money has become like an email. If I send you an email, and on that email there's an attachment, I'll still have a copy of that attachment on my computer. So I will attach, you will get the document, the PDF file, but I'll still have a copy of that file on my computer. So imagine if that was money and I was sending you money as a file, it means I'll still be left with the same amount of money where I am. So what Bitcoin has managed to do is to ensure that digital currency, the cryptocurrency, is able to mimic what real cash can do. So like in the example that I gave earlier, I said that if you had £10 and you use £6 and you're left with £4, you are left with exactly £4. Whereas in your bank account, it could still reflect £10, and you could still use the money twice. And then at some point you could go into negative balance because you've used a lot of money which you thought you had in your account, but which you actually do not have. Okay, so it mimics digital cash. I mean, it mimics physical cash. That's why we call it the digital cash. Then let me just check if there is anyone yet. Let's just have a look. That's me there. Right. Okay. Is that on mute? Let me just mute that so that at least I've got a clue of what's happening. Okay, so that's digital cash. Now let's look at the decentralized database, because that's what cryptocurrency is. So cryptocurrency is a decentralized database. What does that mean? It means that money itself is a database. What does that mean? It simply means that money is just a record of your goings in and your comings out. So what does that mean? It means that if you have, say, £1 million in your account, okay, you cannot just go to a bank and say, I want to withdraw £1 million, and you get it as cash. They probably do not have it as cash, but they've got it on a spreadsheet, and it's reflecting on your spreadsheet, okay, on the database. Now, here comes cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is exactly the same. It's also a database. It's also a list of transactions, but the difference now is that this list of transactions is on a decentralized database. So instead of having a database which is housed on a, say, on a centralized platform, like, say, a bank like Barclays would have all your transactions with them, so they have the transactions in their possession, and something could go wrong. The bank could be compromised, the bank could be hacked or something like that, because it's a centralized system, which is why we've had situations where some login details or passwords have been compromised of really big companies. But Bitcoin is decentralized. So what does that mean? It means that the database actually stays on the individual computers of all the people who have a stake in the cryptocurrency. So everyone who has some cryptocurrency, say some Bitcoin, will be on the same spreadsheet, and that database will be on every computer of all the people who are taking part. Okay, so if something happens, if I buy a cup of coffee using my cryptocurrency, and that reflects on the database, then it's going to reflect on every database of every transaction of every computer which is on the network, because it's decentralized. Okay, what does that also mean? It means that if any of those computers are down, transactions will carry on and be updated on the other computers, and that database is kept updated. So a lot of people have issues with, say, or they have questions as to whether or not the people on the platform, since it's a public ledger, since it's public, because it's decentralized. So the question is, do they have, can their transactions be seen by somebody else? And the answer is yes, they can be seen, but because of cryptography, the accounts just appear as a string of numbers. Okay, so there is nothing to identify who exactly owns what. Okay, in terms of they don't put their actual names there. Okay, they don't put their actual names there, but they're able to they're able to log in and be able to access their part of this, because it's a network and all the Bitcoin are on that one network. Okay, so cryptocurrency is just the incentive for keeping that database secure, because what you're trying to do is to secure the database, and you're using miners. I'm sure you've heard of cryptocurrency mining. Miners are those machines or those computers which are trying to guess what the correct, every time there's a transaction, they are going to try and guess the answer or the code which validates that transaction. And when that happens, they are rewarded in Bitcoin. And there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And one question I got asked yesterday was, do you have to buy 1, 2, 3 Bitcoin? And the answer is no. You can just get a fraction of a Bitcoin, a thousandth, a millionth of a Bitcoin. Okay, you can do that. You can buy £1 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy 20,000 pounds worth of Bitcoin. It's all up to you. Okay, I'm just going to change this currency into. It's only, looks like it's only in USD and Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm just going to leave it in US dollars. Okay, so I've got a website here, and it's called the CoinMarketCap.com, and this is the place where you can find all of the cryptocurrencies, the coins and the tokens, all listed here. And at the top is Bitcoin, so they are arranged in terms of their market capitalizations, or how much of the market they actually own. So Bitcoin is right at the top. It has a market cap of 116 billion at the moment, and it's gone up to almost half a trillion before. It's gone up to about 400, 500 billion. And so at the moment it's on 116 billion, 817 million, 395,445. And it's at $6,888 at the moment. The volume of transactions over the last 24 hours has been 4,956,240,000. So you can see almost 5 billion worth of transactions in the last 24 hours. So what does that mean? It means that it has actually been able to not surpass, but maybe surpass some of the budgets of some countries even. Okay, so that's the market cap for Bitcoin. And the number of Bitcoins in supply, which are in circulation at the moment, is 16,958,075 Bitcoin. And so there's less than 5 million Bitcoin to go, because that's almost 17 million already mined. So when the incentive started for Bitcoin, it used to be that every time a computer or a miner is rewarded with Bitcoin, they were given 50 Bitcoin, and then after 4 years, it went down to 25 Bitcoin, and then after another 4 years, it runs every 4 years, so it halves every 4 years. So after another 4 years, it was 12.5, and I think they are 12.5 right now, but there's almost 17 million have been mined so far. Then the next cryptocurrency is Ethereum, and you can go on the website and go through all this, but you have Ethereum, the next one. So Bitcoin is at 116 billion, Ethereum is at 37 billion, Ripple 19 billion, Bitcoin Cash, which is it used to be part of Bitcoin, but there was what they call a fork, F-O-R-K. And when the fork happened, there was Bitcoin, and then there was Bitcoin Cash. So the original Bitcoin is sometimes called the Bitcoin Classic. That's why it's BTC for Bitcoin Classic. And Bitcoin Cash is BCH for Bitcoin Cash. Then at number 5, we have Litecoin. At number 6, we have EOS. Number 7, Cardano. Number 8, Stellar. Number 9 is Neo. Number 10, IOTA. IOTA is on 2.7 billion, almost 3 billion. Neo has 3.067 0.076 billion. Stellar is at 3.8 billion. Cardano 4.03 billion. EOS 4.43 billion. Litecoin 6.7 billion. Bitcoin Cash 11.076 billion. So you can see just how much. And I don't know if I can see the actual, like the total. We can go to number 100, Syndicator, which is on 91 million. So Syndicator is on 91 million, and that's the 100. If I'm to view all of them on this page, you will see that we have up to, I'll just go right down to the end. And if I go right down to the end, we have up to 288 here. Okay, 288. Still going. I think we've got up to 500. 500. We've passed 500. We're now on 600. 600. 700 coins. 800 coins. 900 coins. 1,000. 1,100, 1,200, 1,370, 1,400, 1,005, 1,597 Monero Gold, and some of these are not even, they don't even have a market cap yet. Some of them might still be in the development phase, but I think they're trying to come up with something. So the last one with some kind of going all the way back, right? So this might get your eyes running now, but if there are any questions, guys, I would like to be able to answer them, but this is just wanted to introduce you to this page, this website with all the information that you need, so that you're not being told by somebody else, but you can actually find this information for yourself on the internet. And it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, EOS, Cardano, Stellar, and Neo. Those are in the top 10. So if you're looking to invest, you can take a peek. There is so many of them. And people will say, why are there so many of them? What's going to happen then? Because there's just too many of them. And the thing is, there are a lot of currencies and a lot of fiat currencies which are based on they are based on what country you're from. So we have currencies which depend on the nationality of the person or the population. But here we have a decentralized form of money where every person becomes a bank, and they are also able to they are able to, anyone can come up with their own currency. And so people say, so if there are so many currencies, what's going to happen? And the answer is, well, it all depends on how acceptable the currency is. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, for example, it's on 116 billion. You compare it to something like Populous, right, at number 30, and it's only 442 million. So it just indicates, it just shows you just how much interest it's getting. So, I mean, the most useful ones will always be prominent. So there is nothing, we can't really say which currency is going to make it. It all depends on the use case. It all depends on what the people want, because Bitcoin is actually a solution, right? So if it's a solution, it depends on how well the particular cryptocurrency is solving people's problems. And one of the problems I've already mentioned is that of double spending. Because this is, I think it's important to mention this, it's a peer-to-peer system, peer-to-peer payment system, which means if we are both on the Bitcoin network, we both have Bitcoin, If there's 10 of us with Bitcoin, it means any one person can send to any other person directly without going through a bank. Because guess what happens when money goes through a bank? The bank collects its pound of flesh. The bank will charge you something for that transaction. Okay, did you know that banks will also charge you for a cash deposit? Just to deposit money into your bank, you can get charged for that. So a lot of young people find it very strange that banks are doing that at a time when the first bank account they have will probably be a cryptocurrency account, and it will not have all of those silly bank charges, and also it will probably not have a situation where if you send somebody money, if you deposit money, it might take 2 weeks to clear. Okay. In Bitcoin, it's instant, it's peer-to-peer, which means you're not going through a bank. The friction is removed. Okay, guys, I think I've come to the end of this particular talk. So I'll see you in another video. I think I'm going to make another one straight after this, because I want to talk about some of the things which are happening in Zimbabwe. So I'll see you in the next video.